Hey guys, I'm back. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ashley, or Ash, and I'm one of the original Mustang lifestyle people. The first video actually on this channel as Mustang lifestyle was my car getting an exhaust after I bought it, and oh my god, like...
Hey guys, so this is Andrew here. This is going to be one of the first videos of, hopefully a long series of videos of basically just car videos. Are you excited to start your race car? Do it. Oh no.
You know why it's raining?
Why?
Because I just made the thunder. I'm sorry, was that too loud for you? You hobos?
It's so loud.
We had no idea what this would be when we started this channel, and it's so amazing. I don't know, like, it's undescribable being where we are. I mean, I remember when we hit 10,000 subscribers and we made like an awesome video about how we all took each other's cars for the day and we all vlogged that day, and
hopefully that did not wake him up, because this is supposed to be a huge surprise.
Hey guys, what's up? So today is a little bit of an interesting day. I am going to take Scott's car, Scott is taking Andrew's car, and Andrew is taking my car. So let's see how this goes today. Ugh, my neighbors hate me. Here we go.
So why did I steal Andrew's Cobra, you might ask?
Today is an important day. It's kind of the reason why we all just decided to do something really crazy today. Steal each other's cars, vlog all day.
Today is Wednesday, but it's not just any ordinary Wednesday. Today is the day that our YouTube channel, Mustang Lifestyle,
is going to hit
10,000 subscribers
on YouTube. That is just so cool. And that was amazing. Like 10,000 subscribers was amazing. And now we're about to hit 100,000 subscribers, and that's amazing. Like every day you're like, oh my god, like this is happening, like this is real. And when we go out to like the Mustang Week meet and greet that we have, it's like I'm shocked every single time. I can't even believe it. Like, this is the coolest thing, and it's amazing, and I'm so glad that it's happened to us. And I wish everybody could feel this feeling of what it's like, and I'm so glad that this is what I do. But I haven't been around for the last year, and I wanted to make this video because I feel like I couldn't just like come back without saying anything, especially because there are a lot of like people that have ideas of where I've been and like why I haven't been here, like with the channel. And most of those ideas are centered around what happened last year at Mustang Week with the arrest, and people thinking like, oh, there's a legal reason she can't drive her car, like that's why she bought the Fusion. Like, no, that's not it. Update on that all just recently got taken care of. They, after several threats of going to trial and suing the city, they started making bargains with us, like, oh, we'll drop it to this, and they just kept dropping it to like different reckless driving charges. So eventually they just dropped it to an exhaust ticket, which is what I said that I would be okay with, like, have a loud car, I would be okay with an exhaust ticket, and they just dropped it to like a $420 exhaust ticket. Like, a real exhaust ticket is like $100. They just dropped it to the same price that the reckless driving charge was. So that literally just ended like a month ago, a month and a half ago, something like that. But that's really not why. And there's been like other people who are like the troller people that I totally appreciate. Like, someone commented on a video, because a bunch of people were saying, where's Ashley? Over, like, especially over time, when people really realized that I was gone, people were like, where is Ashley? And somebody commented on one of the videos, like under one of somebody else's comments, they were like, oh, you didn't see the bushes? Ashley, I think, he's gone into landscaping. Like, their bushes look really good outside. And I don't know, like, it just like caught on, like, so to the point where like people would comment like, where is Ashley? And somebody would be like, you don't know, like, she has a landscaping business now, like, that's what she does. And I know that like everybody was joking, but I just appreciate trolling. I'm a huge troll. And some people thought Andrew and I broke up, which is like totally not the case. We're definitely together, going on 7 years, so we're definitely together. There's never gonna break up. And then the other reason why I wanted to make this video is because if I talk about what happened to me, I think that I can help other people in their lives, because mental illness is so like, there's such a stigma around it, and it sucks. Like, it sucks. There's like, if you went to work and you said, oh, I have cancer and I need to take this much time off for treatment, your work, they would send you flowers, like, oh my God, take as much time as you need. Like, people would be really concerned. But with mental health, like, oh, I'm depressed and anxious, it's like, okay, we'll get over it. And that's not okay. It's such a serious thing. It's so real, and it doesn't discriminate, and it gets the best people out there, and it's just everywhere. And from my experience, talking about it makes other people feel okay to talk about it. Since I've been through the treatment that I went through, I have been an open book. And God, people that I've known for years, and that my mom has known for years, and her friends, and like, she's told them about me, and they're like, oh yeah, I went through a similar thing, like, I'm on this medication. And it's just like stuff that nobody would talk about. Or I've told some people, and they're like, wow, like, I'm going through the same thing, and I didn't know how to ask for help. And that's why I'm talking about this. That's why I'm making this video. That's why it's called The Truth. I want to tell you guys the truth, and I'm not going to hold anything back in this video. So please, I am being so vulnerable in this video, and I am sharing stuff that my parents don't even know. And Andrew is gonna find out a lot of stuff from watching this video. It's a big deal to me. Just be kind. I do want to just say a disclaimer on this video. I'm gonna talk about some sensitive things. I'm gonna talk about probably some eating disorders. I'm gonna talk about PSTD, major depression, anxiety and panic disorder, self-harm, and suicide. So if that's something that you can't handle, you don't want to hear, I put a time card somewhere on here to where I'm done talking about all that, and I'm just talking about what helped me. Totally understand if you don't want to listen to that. I can't believe I'm gonna talk about this on YouTube. I was always a really happy person. Like, really happy. Like, even when I was a baby, if my mom had the video camera out, my turn was like my words, where I would just want to like look at myself, and I would want to always be in the camera, I was like that person that took a lightsaber to parties so that if it got boring, like I could save the party. And I took a selfie stick every single day to work so that if there was, you know, someone was having a bad day, or there was a bad situation that got everybody in kind of a funk, or it was just slow, I would take my selfie stick out and I would take pictures with everybody. I mean, I don't know, like I was like a ridiculous and hilarious human being that was just always happy and always like brought joy everywhere I went. That's who I was. You know, over the past few years, I've, I guess, not been that, and just really slowly losing that, very slowly, to the point where I couldn't even pinpoint like when it started. I just slowly started losing myself. I didn't even know until the day that it hit me in the face, and that's what's scary about it. You know, it started off with like not wanting to go to the track or go to the meet, or getting annoyed with like being somewhere too long, or being in places, not wanting to be on camera, and like being afraid of being on camera, and not wanting to read the comments on the videos because they were mean. And it just was like so many things that were either I was losing interest in, or I don't know, it just, even at the like if you look at the timeline of Mustang Lifestyle, like Mustang Week, if you look at the videos before Mustang Week, like I was not in a lot of videos. Like I was very seldom in videos. Mustang Week was actually like I was feeling really good, and I had been feeling good for like about a month, and just, you know, like eating healthy and smiling and feeling good about myself. And God, I don't know what happened at Mustang Week. When I went to Mustang, like before Mustang Week, I was like here. And then up to Mustang Week, I was feeling like here, like I was starting to feel good. And then after Mustang Week, I was like down here. Like you can't even see where I was. I was a mess. And yeah, like it totally has to do with what happened. I mean, that one video that I made where I was like crying for 8 minutes, that was me after having a real panic attack. And that was the first ever time that anxiety happened. And the rest of the week I was just like not myself. Like I was a different person. I didn't do anything at Mustang Week last year. The only thing I did was when I went to the meet and greet, and all my friends, they did all the stuff without me. Like even Andrew, they just did everything without me. And I was like, oh no, I'm fine. Like I just don't want to. And that's what depression does. It's a filter. Like you just don't want to do anything. And what's crazy is that like, you know that it's totally ridiculous. Like you know that like normal people can wake up in the morning and get in the shower and put their shoes on and like socialize with people, but you just don't want to. You're just like, it's like the feeling of like, it can get so heavy. It's like if a friend or a family member or someone close to you died and you're mourning, that's what it felt like. Like it was that intense of sadness. And the sadness was something that honestly, like if I just was dealing with depression, I probably would be I would probably still be dealing with it, because the depression, I was really good at faking. I was so good at faking that I could fake it to myself. When I went to work, I worked like 55 hours a week because I just wanted to work, and I could be somebody else. I could be Ashley the blank where I work, and I was like really good at it. And I just worked all the time to just hide from my life. And I could still be doing that. But anxiety is like crippling, and it drives you crazy. Like, it's just, you can't function. And for sure, like, my first ever panic attack was at Mustang Week, and ever since then I would have little tiny pings just every now and then, like a little like anxiety, like where I was like, oh, like panic, like sheer panic, and that would go away. Like, it would only be once in a while, and it was just so slow. Like, everything was so slow. And you know, like, my whole life has been like, I've dealt with a lot of shit. Like, when I was little, I've always had self-esteem issues, like, for as long as I can remember, and I still have self-esteem issues. I'm still dealing with that. I'm so much better. I'm like doing so good, but I definitely, like, that's my biggest obstacle is my self-esteem. And I've been through a lot of shit in my life. Like, you know, like, I would be afraid to like go to family parties because I was afraid that, you know, when I left that they would talk bad about me or my mom. And I had real genuine reasons to think that. And I lived for a very long time just very like super extra cautious and aware of everything that I said, because like I just didn't want anybody to say anything bad about me or, you know, my mom. And that was always like a huge stressor in my life. And I had a horrible cheerleading coach that just like destroyed me emotionally. And my senior year of high school, like, I don't even remember 3/4 of my senior year of high school. After the first quarter, I don't remember anything. That's how traumatic it was. And I've also lost a lot of people, people that are still alive that have abandoned me through my whole life. Like, I've had traumatic experiences with people where it was hard to trust them and what they said. And I guess the point is just that I've been through a lot, and going through stuff like that, like, and not talking about it, it shuts off your heart. And that's what I did. I just blocked everything out because I didn't want to get hurt ever again. You can shake a soda bottle 1,000 times, but eventually that cap is gonna blow off. And I'm not complaining about anything that's happened in my life. I genuinely believe that everything that I've been through was for a reason and has made me who I am today. And I'm very happy with who I am today. I moved to Florida when I turned 21 with the guy that I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with, and I bought my house when I was 22, and it's a really nice house. Like, it's a huge house, and I'm so happy, and I know that I have a great life. And like, that's what I said about depression. Like, that's why, like, you know, it's ridiculous. Like, and it even makes it worse. Like, why do you feel this way? Like, you're stupid. Like, you have a good life. Like, what's wrong with you? And so it didn't help that I just felt guilt for that. And it happened at Mustang Week. And it just was like a super downhill from there. My episodes of severe major sadness were becoming more often and increasing. And oh my God, I bought another car. I bought a Fusion hybrid because I didn't even want to look at my car. I just wanted it in the garage. I didn't want to look at it. I even told Andrew to sell it. I was like, just get rid of it. I don't want it. And thank God he didn't, but I didn't want to do anything. And these episodes of sadness it was like getting too much. Like I would be driving down the road and there was a car that didn't look to see what was behind them and started coming into my lane, and I didn't want to move over, but I did. Just for a split second, I just thought, like, maybe I just let him hit me. I I'd drive over a bridge and I would just think like, turn off, go off the bridge. But you know, even with those thoughts, like I would still think like, I'll never do anything. Like they're just thoughts, you know, they're normal. Like I'm sure people like have these thoughts, and people do have those thoughts, but not like that. I mean, I could lie to myself all I wanted to, but they were real. And it actually escalated to the point where it was getting so intense that I would call my mom on my way home from work, and I would just talk to her every single day on the ride home from work, because I just didn't want to be sad. I just wanted to be normal and talk to somebody. And she answered the phone every single day on my ride home from work, and we just talked, and that helped me a lot. But it was fake. I wasn't dealing with my problems. It was masking my problems, and the episodes just were more and more, and I was becoming like roommates with Andrew. Like I wasn't even a relationship anymore. It was just, we lived together in the same house, and then it escalated again, and I was sitting in my bathroom on the floor with the shower on. I just like the way that sounds. The sounds of the shower. And I was sitting on the floor, and I was looking around the bathroom, and I was like thinking of all the ways, all my options. And I started writing. I got there was a notebook and a pen, and one day on my way home from work, I just started writing, and I just wrote about everything that I was feeling, about how numb I felt and sad I felt, and that I just wanted to feel something, and how I used to be so happy. And I just wrote like pages, and I just would keep doing that. You know, every time I would have an episode, I would write more in this book. It's so sad. Like, even like reliving it is just sad. I mean, I had to hide the book because I wasn't ready to tell anybody about what was going on. And really what I wrote about was that I needed help, and I didn't know how to ask for help, like, but I knew that I needed it, and I didn't even know why I needed it. I just knew that I needed help, like. And so I just kept hiding. I hid the book, and I don't know what happened one day. I decided like to type everything in the book like in a document, and I shared the document with Andrew, and that was very hard for me to do. I had just watched this Brene Brown TED Talk on the power of vulnerability. Everybody here should go check it out. It's very inspiring and amazing, and it just talks about the most courageous thing you could do is be vulnerable. And thank God I watched that, because that was the first time that I just shared something, and I shared it with Andrew, and I just had this like moment of like, I need help. I need to get help. And I booked a plane ticket for the weekend to my home in Rhode Island where my family is, and told my boss like that there was an emergency and that I had to go for the weekend. And she's probably gonna see this. I'm sure she'll understand. But I needed something. Like I needed to feel something, and I just thought that if I went there that I could get it. I could feel it, and I did. I did. I went home, and immediately I just like this weight lifted off my shoulders, and I felt so good. And it's not like 100%, but I just felt better. And I drove to my friend Matt's house. I didn't tell him that I was coming. I called him and he answered, which I didn't think he would, because the last time I saw him was at Mustang Week and we got into a huge fight. That was both of our faults, and I was not in a good state of mind, so it just made things worse. So I didn't know if he was going to answer, and he did, and he came outside in the snow while it was actively snowing, and I think he just one look at me and he just like knew that something was wrong, and I just cried for a long time. And he just held me in his arms and I just cried, and I told him, like, Matt, I think I want to die, like something's wrong with me, like I really want to die, something's wrong with me. And he was like, you gotta get help, you gotta make an appointment with somebody, go talk to somebody. And I did. I went online and I looked up a therapist in my area, and I was like, I'm gonna go get help. And I came back from Rhode Island and I did. I went and I got some help. This was in March that I started seeing somebody, and I started seeing her, well, at first our plan was to see each other every other week, and eventually it switched to every week because I was so like different, like week to week. Like some weeks I was like totally fine, and then other weeks I was like not okay. And so I just saw her every week, and it helped. Like you know, she started giving me things to do and exercises, and you know, at first I was like, no medication at all. I don't want medication. I've been down before and I got better. I saw a therapist and I got better. I can do this without anything. And she just kind of kept recommending it, and it got to a point where it was so bad that I was like, yeah, I should. So I made an appointment with a psychiatrist. The problem is, in Florida, kind of everywhere in the whole country, but I live in Florida, the wait list was like 2 months to get in. Well, actually, I got an appointment for like only 2 weeks out, and then they canceled it and made it 2 months out. And so I just went that long without getting any extra help, and it was like over that time that things just kept progressing, getting worse and worse. I would get angry, or I wouldn't talk at all, or I don't know. I was starting to be like less functioning of a human at home. Not at work. At work, still going like strong, like working like crazy 55 hours a week, like no lunch breaks, just working. But I was really deteriorating at home, and there was one night where I got really mad at Andrew, which was a normal thing. I guess it's like easier to cause others pain than to feel pain, and that's what I did. I would get mad at Andrew a lot, and I'm so lucky that I had Andrew, because I don't know if somebody else would have stayed with me. But this one night I specifically remember because it was the first of a new type of episode that I would have, where I got mad and I drove for hours in the middle of the night. That night I drove 200 miles in my town in a huge circle. I just hours and hours and hours. I just kept driving in this huge loop around the town, and 200 miles later I realized that I only had like 30 miles left to empty in my hybrid. And I pulled into a parking lot and I just like lost it. I cried and I sobbed, and I just kept asking why. Like, why am I like this? Like, why is my brain like this? Like, what is wrong with me? Like, is there even, like, I grew up thinking that there was a God that makes everybody the way they are for a reason. Like, what the hell was this reason that I would be like this? There must be no God, because God wouldn't want anybody to feel like this. And I just kept asking why, just asking nobody why, asking the universe why, and just kept saying why. A police officer actually stopped at my car because it was on at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning in a dark parking lot, and he just told me I should go home. And I was in a pink fluffy robe. I think he knew, like, he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I just was sad about something." And I went home and I sat in my car for another hour. I finally went inside, but I just felt so numb. Like, I didn't even feel the sadness anymore. And when I went inside, I went to a drawer in my kitchen and I took a very sharp knife and I just put it on my skin, and I slid it on my skin, and I didn't do anything. I just put it there and moved it, and just did that a few times. And then I kind of shook my head and I put it down, and I was like, no, like, I'm not gonna do this. And I just went to bed. And that was basically the end of that episode. But those episodes of me driving around in the middle of the night turned into, like, me. I would get out of work at like 6 o'clock, and Andrew would come home, so I would get home at 6:20 or 6:30, and I would still be on the phone with my mom for a while, sitting in the driveway. And once we would hang up, Andrew would come home at like 10 p.m. and I was still sitting in my car, and I wasn't even there. It was off and my phone was down. Like, I was just sitting there feeling nothing. You know, like, there would be times where I would text Matt, or Andrew would text Matt and say, like, can you talk to Ashley? Like, this is real. I'm getting really worried. And I would start saying things like scary things, like, Matt, at my funeral, everybody's gonna think I was happy. Like, nobody knows what I'm going through. Like, nobody understands me. Andrew doesn't understand me. Nobody understands me. And that's what I was telling myself. That's what the filter does to you. And all of that is the symptoms of depression. And like I said, I could have lived with depression forever and just had a terrible life. But the anxiety that started having little pings of anxiety, that was what I was like, I can't do that. Like, I can't deal with this anxiety. If somebody told me, completely healthy person as I am, they told me, you have to deal with depression for an unknown amount of time, but it will get better, I would, okay, I'll have to do that. If you were to tell me you have to deal with anxiety for an unknown amount of time, but it will get better, I wouldn't, no, absolutely not. Like, I can't deal with it. I can't, it's horrible. It's debilitating. It's life altering. And so I would have these little pings, and eventually I started feeling it. I was feeling the anxiety actually at work, because I was working so much, and because work was like the only thing in my life that I was really living for at that point. If I had anything, if the depression told me like, oh, you're gonna disappoint your boss by doing this, or you're gonna disappoint your district manager, he doesn't like you right now, you messed up. Like, that was like hitting me like right here, and it wasn't real. Like, my boss loved me, my district manager loved me. Like, there was no real reason for panic, but it was just like these pangs of panic. And I had a really good relationship with my boss, Regina, and I thank God for her, because I'm sure that she's a huge reason, one of the reasons why I lasted so long. And one of them. There are a few reasons that I'll get to, but she's one of them, and my district manager, Christian, is one of those reasons. And they just kept me going, you know. They believed in me so much that it kept me going. And there was this big change in the company that I work for starting April 1st. It was like this huge change, and so they switched a lot of the managers around. I was moved from my location to another location, which at first I was really upset about, and then I was fine with, because I love all the people that I work with. It was just like a new environment where I had to learn new people, and but you know, I missed Regina, and I missed her. She was a really great boss, and I have a really great boss now. So I had nothing to complain about, but again, the filter in my mind just tears you down. And eventually, like, work was like causing the anxiety. Like, I felt like I was under so much pressure because I was at this new location and we were doing really good, but it was like so much pressure to stay really good. And I was so happy to be at this location because it made me feel like I was really doing well, and I got put into this leadership program that I was so happy, and I was like, yes, this is all going great, but also the anxiety was horrible. And it was like getting to the point where I was at work and I would like have to go into the bathroom and just breathe. Like, I was having panic attacks at work, and nobody knew. I was hiding it from everybody. Like, I was so good at leaving all my shit at the door and just going to work and faking it. And inside, I was horrified. And one day, on my way home from work, I had taken something from my old location. I took a box cutter because I said in my brain, I was like, oh, I want to have something from the old location. It doesn't make sense, but I also was having all those thoughts, and I don't know, I just felt so numb, and I was tired, and I just wanted to feel something, and I don't even remember doing it. Now, like, thinking back on it, I don't remember doing this, but I did. I hurt myself. I took the box cutter and I put up my sleeve, and I just started going at my skin. And I remember at first I couldn't feel it. Like, I couldn't feel anything. Like, why couldn't I feel anything? And I started going deeper, and I just wanted to feel something until I finally felt something. And I was so ashamed. I was so ashamed of what I did, but I did it, and I didn't think that I would do it, but I did. It wasn't too long after that I had pretty much hit the bottom. It was the night before I took a leave of absence from work. I remember this like so vividly in my mind. The last thing I said that night was that I was a complete waste of a human being. And I really, really believed that. And I remember just laying in bed after saying that, and I got out of bed, and I went and got the keys to my car, and I opened the door really slowly because I didn't want to wake anybody up. I didn't want to wake Andrew up. And I opened the garage door and I was just shaking because I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was going to do, and I was physically shaking and I couldn't breathe. I got in my car and I started to drive, and I wanted to go to the highway. I can't believe I'm talking about this. And I remember going left at the end of my community that I live in, which was like the long way. And I remember I didn't put on my seatbelt. So the car was dinging and I started to laugh because I thought that, like, oh, I should put my seatbelt on. But why would it matter if I put my seatbelt on? Because I was going and I wasn't gonna come back. I drove to this bridge on the highway and I pulled my car over and I got outside and I stood on the bridge and I just looked down and then I sat down and I wrote something for my family to see. It's hard to relive. I sat there and I waited for like an hour. I kept looking at my phone and I was thinking, like, why hasn't anybody called me? I just kept waiting for somebody to call me, but nobody knew where I was. Why would anybody call me? Nobody knew what I was doing. And then I was thinking to myself, why do I want somebody to call me? I want somebody to talk me out of this, but nobody's gonna talk me out of this. And I kind of just like started thinking that if I wanted somebody to talk me out of this, maybe this wasn't what I wanted. Maybe I could talk myself out of this. And it was that little bit of hope, that tiny bit of hope. And I did the strongest thing I've ever done in my whole life. And I got off the bridge. And that's the hardest thing I've ever done. It's the best thing I've ever done. And I drove to the location that I work. I just parked my car and I just looked inside for a long time. This was something that I was good at. This was something in my life that I knew I was good at. And if I could be good at one thing, if I could have one thing good, then that was a start. And again, I just, like I said earlier, I was enrolled in this program at work that was a 6-month program, and it started in June and it ended in, I guess it wasn't full 6 months. It started in June and it ended in October. And I was like, if I could just make it to October, if I can just make it there, I can make it to October, and then I can, I don't even know. Like, I just thought, like, I can make it till then. And I drove home. And I sat on the couch all night thinking about what had just happened. In the morning, when reasonable morning came, I went into the bedroom with Andrew and I said, I gotta go get help. Maybe if I can just stick it out until October, I don't know, like, maybe I just need to go back to Rhode Island. Like, I felt so much better when I went to Rhode Island. So maybe I just need to take a week off. And he was like, yeah, do what you need to do. And I called my HR person and I told her, and I told her a lot. I didn't tell her everything, but I told her a lot. And she said, you know, Ashley, you need to go. You need to get real help. And you're probably going to be gone longer than a week. And I said, no, like, I can't. I'm in this program. I need to make it until this program. And she was like, are you planning your breakdown? And I was like, yeah, I think I am. But you know, I need to last until then. Christian put me in this program and I need to do well, and I don't want to disappoint anyone. And she just told me to take care of myself. And I did. You know, I said, you know what? You're right. And so I went to the bedroom and I told Andrew not everything, but enough for him to quit his job and pack all of our stuff that day and drive to Rhode Island. And I called my mom. I told her everything. Well, not everything. Just I was telling everybody what I needed to tell them. to understand. And she knew already that I was going through this. I would tell her, and she didn't know everything she's gonna find out in this video, but she knew a lot. And she called a psychiatric hospital in Rhode Island. It's called Butler Hospital. And I explained to her that I want help, and the reason I couldn't get help in Florida was because if you tell people, like, if I went and told my therapist that I went to a bridge the night before to jump off of it, I would be Baker acted in Florida, which means that I would have I'd have to live at the hospital until I got better, and I didn't want that. I wanted to be with my family. I wanted to be able to come home at night. So she called the hospital, she explained everything, and they are the best. It was amazing. They got me in right away to a program called the CBT program, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy, and it changed my life. It saved my life, and I'm so much better now. I learned so much stuff, and I learned so much that's why I'm making this video. I learned like how to deal with things, and medication helps, and I just got help. I disclosed everything. I explained everything in my life. Finally, for the first time. It was an amazing program. There were 30 other people there, and it was groups that you go through, and you meet with a therapist every day, and there's a psychiatrist that you meet with, and there's a group therapy, and there are classes and anger management and how to deal with your feelings, and just all this stuff, and it's just so helpful. And one of the things that has helped me the most out of everything that I learned there was that thoughts are just thoughts, and they come into your mind whether you want them to or not. They happen. You don't control what pops into your mind, but you do control what you do with it. And the best example that I can give is if you're thinking like, I'm stupid, right? If you're bummed about yourself and you're like, God, I'm so stupid. Take that thought and change it to, okay, I'm having the thought that I'm stupid. If you can disassociate from your thoughts like that, diffuse from your thoughts like that, then you can have a new perspective on your thoughts. And that's really what I did. Like, there were situations that I would have gotten mad at Andrew, and I would think like, okay, I'm mad right now. Why am I mad? This is making me mad. Should this make me mad? No, it shouldn't make me mad. What should I do? And it was like that. And I would go somewhere and I'd say, okay, I'm feeling anxious right now, thinking that I'm feeling anxious right now, so why? And it just really helped. And there's like, oh my God, there's like so many other things that I learned from there, and I could make hours and hours of video just talking about what I learned there. But the point is that I asked for help, and I was the most vulnerable that I've ever been in my life, and it saved me. And if you are somebody that's going through this, or somebody that's going through this, ask for help. Do it. It is so hard to do, but it is the best thing that you will ever do for yourself. Or reach out to somebody. Just tell them something kind, or offer your help. I mean, it's just so amazing getting help. And I was there for a little over 2 months, just slightly over 2 months. And I came back the end of July, and I'm a whole different person. I'm not the old me again, but I'm a new me. And I'm a new me that is proud of who I am and is happy with who I am. And there are some things that I'm still dealing with. Like I said, I do still have some self-esteem issues. I have an addiction that I'm dealing with, which is food, which was my drug of choice. And I've been dealing with that, and I've been getting just so good at that, and just everything in my life is improving and going up. My dog that I have, his name is Duke, and while I was away in Rhode Island, he went to 4 weeks of training to be trained as an emotional support animal. And he actually did so well that now he's actually a fully trained service dog. He is a psychiatric service dog and a medical alert service dog. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of him because he comes everywhere with me now. He reminds me to take my medication in the morning. He can tell when my heart rate is increased, and he alerts to anxiety behaviors, and it's just, I'm just so happy. There are so many things that have saved my life, and I wanted to say something. I think if I could only give someone going through a hard time like this just one piece of advice, it would be that you can be rescued. No matter what you're going through, no matter how big or small, you can be rescued. And you might be surprised that the person who rescues you is yourself and all the other people that love you. So I guess that's the whole video. That's my truth. And whether you watched it or skipped ahead, or I hope that this helped at least one person. Just one person, at least. And if it does, then I'm glad I made it. I want to include some thank yous for the people who have really helped me. First, I want to thank Regina, my boss, who taught me so much about being a leader and developed me in my career. Thank you. I can't say enough about how much I appreciate you and what you've done. I want to thank my family, my dad for listening, and my sister for understanding. I want to thank Robert, stepdad. He told me the first time I went back to Rhode Island and I was going back home that I was going to be okay, and those words, I just replayed that over and over in my head the whole time. And I want to thank my mom for answering the phone every single day, because and she knew that I just needed to talk to somebody. I want to thank my district manager, Christian. We talked about this already. I told you pretty much everything that I've talked about in this video, and I just can't say enough. Thank you so much for believing in me. That was what got me through in the end. That feeling of somebody believing in me was saved my life. It's what got me through. So thank you so much. I owe everything to you. Last, I have to thank Duke for being so smart and being able to do what he does. And last, I have to thank Andrew. I don't even have words. There are billions of people in this world, and I was put with the best person out of anybody. You are so honest and trustworthy, and you put your whole life on hold for me. And, well, thank you. Enough crying. My makeup is ruined. That's okay. It feels good to have my story out, and it feels good to share it with everybody. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. It was a heavy video, but you're just skipping to this timestamp. You have no idea what happened, but we are doing some crazy stuff. My car does not even look like the same car. We've been posting little snippets of the wrap that's on it now, and people are guessing like these crazy colors, which you will find out tomorrow what happens, and you'll be seeing me a lot, all the time. I am so happy to be back. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And we are going to daily vlog at Mustang Week. We're having our really cool Mustang Week meetup where we see all you guys and meet everybody, and I'm so excited. And thank you so much. If you watched this whole video, just thank you. And I guess that's it. So please like this video. I was very vulnerable for this video. I shared a lot about my life that I could have kept private, but I decided not to, and I'm going into the unknown with this. So like this video, subscribe, because I'm awesome. I'm normally not sad and like heavy. I'm normally very light and fun, so which is how you'll see me in all the future videos. So I am so excited. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow with the coolest review, or coolest, not review, reveal ever of my car. Thanks for watching, guys.